Hi guys, and welcome to STFU Vlogs and today we will be talking about the pink nipples. I will be dedicating a topic regarding or that is around breast for the month of October in celebration of breast cancer. Guys, please take care of your breastises. Please look out for any lumps or anything that feels weird. If you are not sure on how to do this, please go online. There is ample information online, but if you find that confusing, please consult your medical doctor and they will be able to help you. So without any further ado, let us get into it. Do you guys remember back in 20 something when Rihanna was hashtag freeing the nipple? That was so iconic. We need to bring it back so bad. First, we need to answer the question, what is the pink nipple? The pink nipple is basically typically a Caucasian woman's nipple. So why specifically the pink nipple, and why is it such a topic? So this topic was brought to my attention by a YouTuber that goes by the name Tino. You can check out her page, absolutely amazing. One time she was talking about the pink nipple, and she was specifically talking about a TV show which I've never seen. I can't say I've watched it. I really don't know the show that she was speaking about, but she opened a can of worms for me, which is something that I feel like as a society we don't talk enough about. In the past, I have written, I think, about 3 articles on the pink nipple, but I've since deleted all of them because it tends to get sexual and racial, which were not topics that I was not comfortable with, because I felt I needed to do more research and probably understand so many aspects behind this. I have watched so many videos of white women, especially who I feel like their stories talk about this issue specifically. I think now I'm in a better place to start talking about this. So again, what is the pink nipple? The pink nipple is basically a white woman's nipple, right? But according to Danny Brown, not all white women have pink nipples because of growth hormones, and I understand that this is probably the same science behind their hair color, specifically blonde white women. Apparently when they reach a certain age, it washes off. I think that it is the same science or a similar kind of occurrence that happens, which brings me to the next topic: sexualization of white women. Now, Danny Brown on Quora.com, they're the ones that mention the whole, at the base of it, we're all brown people. So if you're melanated like myself, if you are a dark-skinned brown person like myself, you've probably noticed that your nipples are a shade of brown, right? And you've probably even seen the nipples of the people around you, and it's around the same shades, even the lighter skinned people. But Danny says that at the base of it, we're all melanated people, so it makes sense that we all have less pink nipples than a white child, meaning that the pink nipple is a fascination that people have with white babies, which, I'm not gonna lie, all babies get subjected to sexual, not even just babies, children, right? But it gets more sadistic and twisted when it gets to babies, because children get subjected to sexual abuse and they get sexually abused, right? But when it comes to white children, if you look at the white community and how the world views white women, with them comes this whole, they're associated with innocence and purity, and dare I say they like angel, like they have this angel like image to them, right? Which means that men want a taste of that. That is like the honey pot, right? That every man wants to taste. But what happens when she grows up and she's no longer innocent? Meaning that her nipples probably aren't as pink, right? They're not as pink as those of a child, and perhaps these men notice that that is how it is, and so they get to molesting children, which is absolutely terrible, but it happens, unfortunately. And I think that one thing that has been ignored and overlooked for so long, and I think that it is being swept under the rug by the white community, is that there are more cases of abuse and sexual abuse than the general public is led to believe, because, as I said, with them comes this whole image of innocence and this childlike freedom and just purity, all in all. So to maintain that, there has to be a level of secrecy, which is bad, because it also means that for the women within these communities, they probably don't communicate enough about these things. So the things that they view as normal, the things that they were taught growing up and will probably teach their children, are things that when they voice out into the world, the rest of the world will be like, whoa, that's a bit crazy. Let's talk about that. Which is why I absolutely love TikTok. I have a really strange love-hate relationship with TikTok, because now our eyes are being opened to so many things, and it's exactly why we can get to topics like these. So the sexualization of children and the sexual abuse that these women face due to this stereotype, dare I call it a stereotype, that they have been subjected to, is incredibly bad. And as much as more people are trying to advocate for it and come out and say, but this is wrong, but this is what's been happening, it's easy for us to just like pictures and videos online, because online matters, or topics that are discussed online, there is a level of dissociation or like awareness from the self that happens, because it's like if I saw a woman online and I supported her online, that is where it stays, because I know once I shut off my phone and go to sleep, I'm probably not gonna think about her anymore unless she says or does something that is memorable, which oftentimes, unfortunately, is probably something that is quite demeaning, embarrassing, and something that I probably would never ever engage in my actual real life. That is the unfortunate part. So all of this boils down to the ancestors, and it also brings me to the point of the privilege, and how they're sometimes seen as wishy-washy, especially when it comes to issues that pertain to women and womanhood. The whole innocence that is associated with whiteness, or the white race, the Caucasian race, it honestly was brought about by the forefathers. We all know that, right? And while the men were out colonizing the rest of the world and just doing their thing, right, they obviously had to introduce their women into it, right? Which is where most of the white women privilege comes from, right? That when the husband is the savior, then his wife gets certain privileges that other people just aren't allowed. And I believe the intention behind it was good. I believe the intention behind it was to allow these women a level of respectability and estima, right? Esihle. But unfortunately, years later, the very thing that probably came from good intentions and that probably came from I'm doing this so that our grandchildren and our great grandchildren can benefit from this, but they're not benefiting because they were being placed on a pedestal, and this pedestal was being displayed for all to see that, oh my god, look, she is so beautiful, she's this, she's that, she's that, right? So every man out there has, it feels like they have predatory intentions, and it probably comes from a place of destruction. Like they want to destroy this thing so that they see just how strong it is, or they see whatever it is that they want to see by dismantling it and by touching it and by having a taste of it. And unfortunately, it's not just men outside that race, it's even men within the race. I don't know exactly what the psychology is, but this has been my observation thus far, considering all the content that I've consumed around this topic. So the pink nipple is quite an interesting topic. It's a very interesting topic. It is packed with so much toxicity, and it's unfortunate that to me it seems like at the base of it, or how it started and where it started, it probably came from good intentions, even though the good intentions were harmful to everyone else, but to the people themselves, the women themselves, it was probably meant to be something beautiful. But decades later, millennials later, it is now the thing that brings harm to the very people that it was meant to protect, which is a great lesson in that lesson time. Whatever blessing, when someone says, oh, may God bless you, don't, whatever good luck, good intention, whatever good thing that is being brought to you by someone else, pray to God that it does not come in the form of them blessing me, or their blessing being a spear ehlabang the next person, because then down the line it is going to disadvantage you greatly. And I'm not saying that these women were disadvantaged. Nani. They do have privilege. They have so much privilege. In fact, they have so much influence that even the men have reason to shake and shudder at their influence, right? But with it comes so many other things that are probably heavier than what we are being led to believe, because every race, every group of people has their own secrets that they're guarding, right? But not all of them are good. And in this instance, it feels like perhaps there are certain things that have been kept a secret in that race that are probably not healthy, and are probably the reason why there's these violent outbursts that just shock the world. They're probably something that have been brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing, and now finally when it comes out into the world, it's big and it's violent and it's scary, right? And it's not just for one gender but for both genders, right? Even if it comes in the form of, oh, I don't want to associate myself with the man that I am or was born as, and or the woman that I was born as, because of 1, 2, 3, 4. They're always listing all these reasons as to why they do it, right? And it's so interesting because compared to other races, the the white creators online that talk about why they want to dissociate from their given genders is always interesting, and there's a nuanced feeling of it's not just the sexuality, but it's also, it feels like not only do they not want to be seen as male or female, but probably, if possible, can I not be seen as this race too, because, and then they will list their reasons. It happens in all the cultures, especially POC cultures, because culturally, historically, even in this day and age, our cultures tend to be more rigid, and they basically suffocating. We're all suffocating under our cultures, right? But with us, with POCs, there's this feeling of it's all about culture, like the culture, the religion is the problem, right? Because even if we're talking about our families and family structures and all these other things, at the base of it, there's culture, there's religion. But with the white race, there's always more beneath the culture and the race. There's always so many other things that it gets scary, which is why it is difficult to understand truly the people who are outside looking in. That is why it's interesting, but also a little bit hard to understand. And I feel like probably that is how it is for them inside, because also another thing, POCs tend to be less scientific, even though people have their degrees, their honors, their masters, their PhDs, and all these other things. As I said, the cultural and religious influence, it runs deep. So science is an outside thing. It is something that once you enter your yard, you leave it at the gate, and when you enter, you leave your science there. It might be introduced here and there, but the the thing itself, you don't really, it is as if though me speaking to you through my phone, we're probably never gonna meet. And as I said, you might support me online, but as soon as you turn off your phone, you're probably not gonna think about me again, right? Until we meet again, until I post another video or we have a discussion in the comments, right? That is how science is for most of us. It is quite concerning, to say the least, but it's a very interesting topic. And I know I said I was dedicating it to the month of October, but it's not really a cancer topic. It is more so a racial topic that needed to be spoke about. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic, and I need you to go look at it, right? Do your own research, find out more about it. And if you have anything to add, if you have any recommendation or anything, please leave it down in the comments, and I will respond to you. But thank you for listening. If you made it this far, please comment 3 pink hearts. I love you. Bye.